The Haunting of Hollow Creek. Years ago, tucked away in the heart of a dense forest, lay a small town called Hollow Creek. This town thrived on myths and legends passed down from generation to generation. But no tale was more chilling than that of the Whispering Woman. The story went that a woman named Margaret lived at the edge of town, near the forest's darkest trails. Known as a healer, she often ventured deep into the woods to collect herbs. However, one stormy night, Margaret vanished without a trace. The townspeople believed she had fallen victim to something lurking in the woods. Soon after her disappearance, residents began hearing whispers during the night. A soft, raspy voice seemed to float on the wind, saying, "Let me in." At first, they dismissed the sounds as tricks of the mind or the creaking of old houses. But when people who reported hearing the voice began disappearing, fear settled over Hollow Creek. The legend spread. If you heard the Whispering Woman call your name at night, you must never respond, or she would find you, and you'd never be seen again. Fast forward to the present, and the legend is nothing more than a creepy bedtime story. Or so everyone thought. Alex, an ambitious journalist, arrives in Hollow Creek to document these strange disappearances. Skeptical of folklore, he sets up camp near the old trail where Margaret was last seen. With him are his camera and recording equipment, determined to debunk the myth once and for all. His first night in the forest is eerily quiet, except for the occasional hoot of an owl and the rustling of leaves. But around midnight, a strange chill fills the air, and he hears it, a faint whisper drifting through the trees. "Alex, let me in." He freezes. The voice is clear, intimate, as if the speaker knows him. "This is ridiculous," he mutters, brushing it off as a prank or auditory hallucination. But deep down, a knot of fear tightens in his chest. He doesn't dare respond. The next night, determined to capture the voice on tape, Alex positions his equipment outside his tent. As midnight approaches, the forest grows unnaturally still. No animals, no insects, only silence. Suddenly, the whisper returns, closer this time. "I know you hear me, Alex. Let me in." Alex's heart pounds. The equipment picks up the sound, confirming it's not just in his mind. But then, the voice changes, deeper, almost mournful. "You shouldn't have come here." Terrified but curious, Alex ventures out of his tent with his flashlight. The beam flickers erratically, and the air feels heavier with every step he takes. He notices footprints leading into the forest, his own. But how could that be? He hasn't left the camp since he arrived. As Alex follows the trail, the whispers grow louder, overlapping, as if multiple voices are calling him. Trees close in around him, and the path twists in impossible ways. Before he knows it, he's lost. Just when panic grips him, a figure emerges from the shadows. Margaret. Her face is pale and expressionless, her eyes hollow. She tilts her head, a ghostly smile forming as she whispers, "You were warned. Now, you belong to the forest." Alex tries to scream, but no sound escapes his throat. His flashlight dies, and the darkness consumes him entirely. Days later, a search party finds Alex's tent and equipment, but there's no sign of him. His recordings reveal hours of silence, until the final moments. On the last tape, a faint voice can be heard, repeating the same chilling phrase, "Let me in." The townspeople know the truth. Alex is gone, claimed by the Whispering Woman, just like the others. They say if you walk near the forest at night, you can still hear his voice joining hers, calling out to anyone foolish enough to listen. Hollow Creek remains haunted by those whispers to this day, and the rule still stands. If you hear someone call your name from the forest, never, ever answer. Months pass, and the legend of Alex's disappearance spreads like wildfire. The town becomes even more fearful, But curiosity also starts to grow among paranormal enthusiasts. They speculate online, theorizing that Alex's spirit is now part of the forest's curse. Some believe the Whispering Woman has turned him into one of her guardians, trapped, forever calling out to the next unfortunate soul. Among those fascinated by the story is Emma, Alex's girlfriend. Refusing to believe that Alex is truly gone, she arrives in Hollow Creek with her friend, Ben, determined to find him. "What if he's still alive?" Emma insists, clutching Alex's last voicemail. "I know he's out there." Despite Ben's doubts, Emma's desperation drives her forward. Emma and Ben set out on the same trail where Alex vanished. The forest seems unnatural, almost as if it's waiting for them. Ben jokes nervously, but Emma is too focused to laugh. She's carrying a compass, hoping it will guide them back. As the sun dips below the horizon, Emma begins to hear it, the same soft whisper that haunted Alex. "Emma, let me in." She freezes, feeling an icy chill run down her spine. Ben, a few steps ahead, hears nothing. "What's wrong?" he asks. Emma brushes it off, but the dread inside her grows. As they venture deeper into the woods, they find Alex's abandoned tent. Emma feels a flicker of hope. If his gear is still here, maybe Alex isn't far. But then Ben notices something strange. The tent's zipper is ripped from the inside, and the surrounding trees are carved with strange symbols. Night falls quickly, and the forest grows unnervingly quiet. Emma tries to focus on the compass, but the needle spins wildly, as if magnetized by an unseen force. That's when the whispers return, louder this time, layered with other voices. "Turn back. You can't save him. He's already gone." Suddenly, Emma and Ben spot a figure in the distance, a silhouette standing perfectly still. Emma's heart races. "Alex!" she calls out, ignoring Ben's warnings. The figure shifts slightly, and for a moment, it really does look like Alex. But as they move closer, something feels off. His movements are stiff, unnatural. His face is blank, like in her nightmares. The figure steps closer, and Emma notices that his lips aren't moving, yet she hears his voice whisper, "You shouldn't have come here." Panicking, Emma grabs Ben's arm. "We need to leave, now." But before they can move, the figure lunges forward, faster than any human should. Ben pulls Emma back, and they sprint through the forest, heartbeats thundering in their ears. Behind them, the whispers swell, filling the air. "Let us in! Let us in!" Disoriented and terrified, Emma and Ben find themselves running in circles. The forest shifts around them, paths twisting and closing off, as if the woods themselves are alive. Emma clutches the compass, but it's useless. Ben stumbles, falling hard onto the ground, and Emma pulls him up, only to realize that they're standing in front of Margaret's old house. The door creaks open by itself, just as it had in Emma's nightmares. "We have to go in," she says, though her voice trembles. They step inside, the air thick with decay and whispers that seem to echo from the walls. In the center of the room stands a mirror, cracked and clouded with dust. Emma approaches cautiously, feeling as if something is watching her from within. As she wipes the surface, Alex's reflection stares back at her. But it's not Alex. It's the same hollow, twisted version she saw in the forest. His reflection whispers, "You came for me. Now, you stay." The house trembles, and the front door slams shut behind them. Shadows crawl from the corners, surrounding Emma and Ben. The whispers grow louder, overlapping into a cacophony of voices. Emma realizes the truth. Alex is trapped, consumed by the forest's curse. And now, it's trying to claim her too. Ben grabs Emma's hand. "We need to break the curse," he shouts over the noise. But how? The answer lies within the mirror. Emma knows it. She must choose: shatter the mirror and risk losing Alex forever, or leave it intact and join him in the endless night. With tears streaming down her face, Emma makes her decision. She raises a piece of wood and smashes the mirror into fragments. As the glass shatters, the whispers stop abruptly, leaving only silence behind. Emma and Ben stumble out of the house, gasping for air. The forest feels lighter, as if a weight has been lifted. For the first time, they sense the curse might be broken. But when Emma glances back toward the house, she sees a figure standing in the doorway, Alex. Or at least, what's left of him. He smiles faintly, mouthing one final message. "Thank you, but you can't save me." With that, the figure fades into the shadows, leaving Emma and Ben alone in the quiet woods. They never speak of what happened that night, and Emma never returns to Hollow Creek. But the legend continues. Some say the whispering woman is gone, but others claim they still hear voices on the wind, calling out to travelers in the dead of night. And every once in a while, someone swears they see a familiar figure, standing at the edge of the forest, waiting for the next soul to answer the call. No one knows for certain if the curse has truly been lifted. But one thing is clear: Hollow Creek will never be the same, and those who dare wander too close to the old house may still hear the whispers on the wind. "Let me in.